Hello everyone, this is Robert here with a Tech Geek 311 recap of today's Monday, March 9th Apple live event. This was the Spring Forward event that we had been talking about. And if you've seen my previous video, you'll know what I'm talking about. You can also go to apple.com and you can see the keynote. They finally put it on there live for everyone to watch, or actually just a recorded version of the live show. So I wanted to give you my recap. As you can see here, they've got a lot of videos. They showed a lot of video clips this time around. So this is basically their video pages. A lot of commercials, a lot of ads, a lot of things that they're introducing. They have this thing here called Research Kit, which is something new that's coming with the Apple Watch. So that's something to look into when the Apple Watch finally gets released. And of course, talking about the new MacBook. They didn't call it a MacBook Air or Pro, just called it MacBook. So I don't know if that's going to be the new name or not, but that's what they advertised. Then of course they had this lady that is doing the fitness and marathons, and they gave her an Apple Watch to use. So she presented a lot of stuff about what she thought as far as the use of the Apple Watch. And of course the aluminum that they used to make the watches, more stuff about its construction and things like that. So right here, of course, you can see the watch interface, and then they're saying that the pre-orders will be April 10th, and also April 10th in the Apple stores you can actually go and try out the watches, test them out and put them on your wrist and things like that. So April 10th is going to be a big day for that. And then, of course, the Apple Watches will be released April 24th. So everything took place this morning at 10 a.m. California time. So the times you see here is Texas time. And it was at the Yerba Buena Center, which is in California, of course. And that's where the event took place this morning. Of course, you can see here Tim Cook gave his little comment. You can see the guest badges that were available for the guest. Of course, this is one of the guys in here from Apple. You can see the auditorium seats that they had. And of course, you have another one of the Apple guys in there as well. Equipment boxes and so forth. And then around this time, which is 11:48 our time, which would be 9:48 over there, is when the audience finally made it in. People got their seats, did all the last minute, they did all the checks and so forth. And then of course, Tim Cook went ahead and got ready for the show. So now, first thing that Apple introduced to us was this flagship Apple store in Westlake, China. So they described the whole show and everything, gave a little bit of an entire presentation on that. That's what this is. I talked about there are now 453 Apple stores in 16 countries, over 120 million visitors. Then they spoke about Apple TV, and we thought there was going to be something new about Apple TV, but there wasn't. The only new thing that they spoke about is that instead of having HBO Go, it's becoming HBO Now, and you don't have to have a cable subscription to get it. Basically, they're going to charge you a $14.99 a month fee, stream HBO anywhere you want. That's pretty much what that is. That was the whole thing about HBO and Apple TV. So there was no upgrades or anything to Apple TV so far. And that was what they gave in here. They dropped the Apple TV price to $69 instead of $99. So that means that they're kind of getting rid of the quantity of Apple TVs. So that kind of brings in some kind of an idea that maybe the actual TV set, the smart TV, Apple TV, might be in the works. That's kind of what I was thinking. Okay, and then we go down here. Of course, they talk about the iPhone, talk about how well the iPhone 6 and 6 Pluses did, talk about how it was growing, how it's expanded. Of course, they talk about over 700 million being sold of the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus, with a 99% customer satisfaction rate. Then they talk about how Apple Pay has changed everything since the iPhone 6. And then we go down here, and of course they talk about Apple Pay being working with over 2,500 banks, all of the 10 at your fingers, basically. And they gave all the different locations that Apple Pay is good for. And we scroll down a little more. They talk a little bit about CarPlay being installed in a lot of vehicles, HomeKit. Then they went into this thing called ResearchKit. And this is something dealing with personal health. Talking about the incredible apps created by HealthKit and so forth. Tracking and managing your health. They talk about this breakthroughs, medical stories or studies, and all this. And so this is this whole new thing with this ResearchKit that they're coming out with. Of course, they're giving more stuff about medical research tools and all that. It's all going to be, it's all going to work in there in conjunction with HealthKit. So it's talking about basically benefiting medical research. That was the whole section on ResearchKit that they explained. They give you all the information here. Talented researchers using it to build apps and so forth. So that's pretty much ResearchKit. They give you a whole lot of sections on it. It really is an extensive stuff on research stuff. And of course they explain more about ResearchKit and HealthKit working together. And then the first apps that are available for it, such as your Parkinson, diabetes, cardiovascular, asthma, and so forth. Alright, then they moved on, gave you some videos and information, showed you some more information about this ResearchKit, went really extensive into it, gave more information about ResearchKit and how the iPhone helps people with this and makes it much easier. And of course they said it'd be available today, March 9th, these apps. Then we got into the MacBook. And MacBook, they really only covered one MacBook. And it's the one the rumors have been saying, which is basically the 12-inch MacBook. Didn't say Pro, didn't say Air, none of that stuff. Talked about how the MacBook sales have grown, 21%. Then, of course, talked about how the Macs are being used everywhere, especially the MacBooks, not the iMacs. And so then they went right into here and introduced a new MacBook. And this one, as they gave you the different colors, of course, same colors that they picked. And right here, you can see that it's the future of notebooks. Very thin, very lightweight. As you can see, weighing only 2 pounds. You can see the thickness here, measuring at 13.1. The MacBook Air is 17.3, so much thinner. Sort of in place with the iPhone 6s and 6 Pluses. Then they talked about the whole new full-size keyboard, so covering the entire bottom of the keyboard. Then they talked about how the new keys, how they work differently, don't wear out and all that. And much easier and more precise to tap. So then they went into there, talked more about the new MacBook, saying that it's not going to have any fan inside, be more energy efficient, be much faster. Of course, it's going to have another Retina display, be 12 inches in size. Talking about the pixels, helping out, 30% less energy produced, and talking about the new ForceTouch trackpad, which has been discussed before for the Apple Watch, and now we know that the new MacBook has that ForceTouch, which they're also stating that a new iPhone 6 or 6S would have that same ForceTouch. So time will just tell, and we'll see. Of course, they talk about how the trackpad works, gave you the whole information on there, went inside showing you how it's different. Of course, they said this MacBook's going to have a lot better battery life. And so here you can see the force clicks and what you can do with them. Harder you press, faster you can fast forward through QuickTime. People have never seen a Mac like this before, and so forth. Then here they talk about first fanless MacBook, so no internal fan, meaning that it'll run more efficiently. Of course, talk about the logic board being smaller. Of course, the Intel Core M processor. They talk here about the new custom shaped battery and about the battery life. So you get 9 hours and 10 hours, so all day, and designed for a wireless world. So It's not going to have the ports like we had before. It's going to have this new USB-C port, which apparently is compatible with a lot of devices. USB, DisplayPort, HDMI, and VGA. So there's going to be a lot of accessories that are probably going to come out for this new port. And of course, minimizing the impact on the environment. Then they're talking about how it's more energy efficient. And they detail programs and all that with it. So they give a lot of extensive information about the new MacBook. So not considered Pro or Air or Light or anything else. Of course, the display, talking about the new way to build the batteries. They show you how the batteries and stuff are put in there and all that. And of course, Tim brought it out and showed you how light it is and everything. Okay, and so then they gave us the price points, starting our price of $12.99 and $15.99, depending on what you want inside the MacBook itself. So then they said, of course, they're going to ship it April 10th, so there's no pre-order actually on this one. You can order anytime you want. And that I thought was kind of weird, that you can pre-order everything else, but this one that just says shipping April 10th, which is the same time you can pre-order the Apple Watch. So I don't know, it was kind of odd on that. So then they talk about here that of course you're going to have MacBook Airs, which are going to be boosted up a little bit as well. And then of course you're going to have the 13-inch MacBook Pros. So they're still keeping those, and they're adding the ForceTouch trackpad to the MacBook Pro as well. So I guess they're still giving you 3 choices, and those of course you can see are available today. Okay, and of course they said the best MacBook lineup ever. So they're really improving the MacBooks as well. Alright, then we get into the meat and juice of this whole spring forward event, which is the Apple Watch. And this one they go ahead and talk more about the Apple Watch than they did before, give a little more information about details, show you more how it fits into daily life, how you can wear it daily. They show you the stainless steel cases, the finishes, show you the sports watch, and they also show you the watch edition, which is the most expensive of the ones, with the 18 karat gold. Of course, they say it's the most advanced timepiece ever created. Then they start talking about it. Start giving you an idea about the different faces of the clocks. Give you an idea about how you can customize the faces with what information you want. Give you information about swiping up and getting all your information on there, which is called glances. So you get a quick summary. Of course, you have your music player on there. You have, when you receive a notification, you have this thing called Taptic Engine that alerts you with a gentle tap. Now you can see who's calling you without having to reach your phone, and you can answer it as well on the watch. So you can basically be talking to your wrist. That's pretty much what you can do. Of course, you have the digital touch that you send your sketch and all that to the other person. And then they talk about how it's comprehensive with health and fitness. So you have this feature in here which encourages you to move more instead of sitting less. Then of course you can do this where it says each Monday it suggests a new daily move activity. So it's got some good activity information in there. Give you the workout app that's coming out for it. So it's just going to be a separate app that's for the Apple Watch itself. Provides more detailed measurements and all that. And then of course they talked about the lady who's doing all the marathons and all that and what she supports. So then we go down here and they give more information, talk about her and what she's doing and everything. Talk about her marathons and all that. Talking about her training with the Apple Watch. And then of course they brought her on stage. She gave her input on the Apple Watch as well. And then we went down in here and talked more about the timekeeping, communications, health, how it can do so much more than most fitness watches out there and most smartwatches out there. Of course, you get all the notifications that you would from your phone on the Apple Watch itself. And then they talked about the WatchKit SDK, so that a lot of developers are using this to build more of their apps to work with the Apple Watch. Came down here where you can, of course, raise your wrist and say, "Hey Siri," so you don't have to push any buttons or nothing. Almost the same as the iPhone 6 if you have it plugged in. You can say, "Hey Siri," and you can do the same thing with the Apple Watch. And then, of course, they have the guy, one of their engineer guys, demonstrating it. Of course, you get timely reminders. You can use your Apple Pay. And the good thing is you don't have to tap anything or put any fingerprints on anything. And so, of course, they say the audience following every word and all that. Scroll through like images like Instagram and all that on your wrist. Of course, they have all the companies in here from separate apps you can do, airline information. Then they give you the cool thing which you can do in a hotel where you can check in with your Apple Watch. You can even open your room door with the Apple Watch. You don't have to have a keyless key anymore. That I thought was pretty neat. You don't even have to touch anything on there. No buttons or nothing on the Apple Watch. And then, of course, they say there's also a new Apple Watch app on the iPhone. So that came with the new iOS 8.2. So we've got the release of 8.2 today, and that gave us the new Apple Watch app on the iPhones. So, of course, they said the Apple Watch app is available for download on iOS 8.2. That was only like a 25-minute download, depending on your internet or your Wi-Fi speed. Is going to depend on how fast it'll install on yours. But there's no issues with it. There's no bugs on it. There's no problems with it. So yeah, if you have your iPhone 6 or 6 Plus or 5s, go ahead and install 8.2 because you're going to be expecting 8.3 and 8.4 pretty soon. And then, of course, iOS 9 in the fall. So I recommend go ahead and install it. You can't really do much with the Apple Watch app right now. It's going to sit there. You cannot delete it. But go ahead and load it. It's not going to hurt. It's going to help the phone anyways. Then, of course, they talked more about the battery, which was controversial. They gave you all day the battery life. And then, of course, the chargers, which are coming in the same two sizes that the lightning cable comes in. And then, of course, available in the different colors. So you have the different color interchangeable bands, which they show here. It says they also have the different cases and all that. Okay, I played a little film showing you about how the aluminum is used. They give you all the information here, telling you about the collection, featuring stainless steel, beautiful finishes. Of course, they give you more videos here on the steel that it's made with. So this is all basically the steel stuff. They learn more about the materials. Then they're talking about the watch edition, crafting with 18 karat gold. But here's the key right here. You can pre-order these April 10th. Now, also on April 10th, they say you can go into an Apple store and they'll let you try them on, see what it looks like on your wrist, see how you feel and all that. Which I guess they'll let you pre-order that day and also in the Apple store. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to work. But they won't be available till April 24th. So April 24th is going to be the key when you can actually get your Apple Watch or have it delivered or so forth. And they tell you which countries it's going to be available for at that time. And saying that that they have the best lineup now. So including the Apple Watch, the iPhone 6s, the new MacBook, and the new iMac that was presented back in September. And then they have this new hands-on pavilion, which they built for the show. And that's where they're showing off a lot of the Apple Watches. And so then basically that's where they're going to do all the hands-on. People can actually try it out, or at least the ones that are where they're in the audience. And you can see here where they're going to advertise it, putting it on the wrist and all that. And so they're talking about it, ready for the audiences to arrive. And so this is pretty much the people that were there, the audience members, trying it on, testing out the size. Of course, the guests were all looking at it, checking it out. So there's going to be a lot of videos on this, a lot of previews. Of course, Tim chatting with the people there, talking about their experience with it. Of course, they have everything inside and out. This is all from the whole temporary room that they built. Of course, people looking at the new MacBooks, testing them out. And then, of course, Tim Cook thanked his entire team and everyone for it. And that was it. That was the entire event. So, overall, my opinion was, yes, the event was good. It was about an hour and a half long. We did learn a lot more about the Apple Watches. We did finally figure out the new stuff about the 12-inch MacBook, which was nice. We did get our release of 8.2 finally, after about 6 betas, so that was a good thing as well. Now my thoughts, I'm probably not going to pre-order this Apple Watch at this time, because unlike an iPhone, it's more of just a product. What I'm going to do is wait until about April 10th, go check it out in the store, go see how it feels on my wrist, see how it feels moving around, make my decision at that point. Do I want to go with Generation 1, which is out, or do I want to wait for Generation 2? So that's pretty much what I'm going to do at this point. But I recommend if you get time, you get a chance, go around April 10th, 11th, 12th, whatever it is between the 10th and 24th, go check out the Apple Watches. It's something worth looking at, especially if you already have an iPhone. That I do recommend. Definitely install iOS 8.2. It's a safe update. It'll help your device out. Got a couple of bug fixes and improvements. You can also check out and see the new Apple Watch app, and when it becomes available, then you can check out what apps will be available for it. Okay, so that was my recap and review on this Apple Spring Forward event. So I hope you guys liked that. If you did, hit the like below. If you can hit that subscribe button, go ahead and tap it. If not, go in my description and tap on the subscribe button. Be sure to subscribe. That way you get all my new videos. So if you subscribe now, any new videos I come out, they'll go straight to you. If you have any comments or questions, go ahead and leave them below. And I will catch you guys later with more videos. Thanks for watching.